Beep.
Beep.
Ooh. Ooh. Keep stretching.
Oh, no, that wasn't a stretch. That was actually more just, I've got like a tooth that's been bothering me a little bit, and I have very cold water, and I've been trying to like adjust it to one side, but it didn't that time. And so, yeah, it didn't feel great.
I felt that.
Yep.
felt that. Ew.
Didn't feel great. Welcome back.
Welcome back, Tam. Out the asshole.
And on that bombshell, we start the show.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's... Ugh. Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
We're back.
My tooth hurts.
I feel a little bit better since the last time we talked.
A little bit, yeah.
I sound way better.
Yeah. You're about 3 octaves up now, so.
Yeah. No more. No, welcome, man.
No more.
Yeah.
Sultry Joe.
It's the me again. It's a me. Anyways, I don't know why I did that.
I mean,
Hey,
you don't
it
have
happens.
to think about it too much.
This is true.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a long week getting healthy again, getting back to it.
Yep.
Speaking of which, I gotta take my medicine after we record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd they put you on?
Now, they got me on an antibiotic and a cough medicine, which both have worked wonders, honestly. So this is a fun fact, and this for anybody at home, before you start spamming COVID in the comments, this was happening long before COVID was ever a thing. And Sam knows I've talked about this many times before.
Yep.
When I get sinus infections, I lose the ability to smell anything. I can't smell anything. I picked up a candle and put my nose in there and I can't smell it. And thankfully I have a solid level of taste where I can still have that. But that is one of the biggest things that I've had to like come to grips with, is because my smell goes away for like 2 to 3 weeks, and I just have to live with it. Like,
Yeah.
it prime example. This is actually a funny story. Just a couple nights ago, I have my dad chair, with the ottoman, kick
Yep.
my feet up nice and comfy. Our now 7-month-old was cuddling with me, and he was like tucked in my arm right here, and he was just doing his baby things, like grabbing his feet and smacking his hands together whenever. And I heard him fart. Okay. Now, there's a difference, and all the parents out there will know this, especially if you're holding your baby. There's a difference between farting and pooping, because you feel the diaper like inflate.
Yeah.
So I feel the, and I'm like, no, baby toots, all right. And I do this thing with my son. I always like, I did it with my oldest too. I'll like pick him up and be like, you got the baby farts, and I'll like raspberry his tummy. He's just, like it's funny. So I did that to him. I was like, oh, you got the baby farts, and he just, and I'm holding there, and for a few more minutes I'm holding there, and then the next thing I'm like, man, I guess he's hot. Like is he sweaty? Like, is he getting the old dad back sweat like I get? I didn't smell that he had not only crapped his pants, but that he had blown out his diaper.
Oh.
And I couldn't smell it. I had no idea. It was all the way up to his mid back, dog. And it was while I was holding him, and I couldn't smell it. Like he pooped and it went right up like a geyser. And the worst part was it had gotten all like the moisture had leaked onto my shirt. So it wasn't that I had poop on me, I had poop juice, and it was the worst. But I couldn't smell it. Because if I had smelled poop, I'd have been like, oh nah, straight to the changing table. Nah, dude, I couldn't smell it. I got there and I even was just like trying to smell the air when I took his diaper off of him to see if I'd smell. I couldn't smell it.
And on that note, wrap your shit.
Let me be your BC. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm gonna get snipped tomorrow.
Hey, look,
I got some scissors. I'm good.
2's enough for me, dog. That's all. Yeah, no. You want to know how much that operation cost? $1,000. Know how I know? Because I've already checked out. And yeah,
That's
your
not
boy's
bad.
gonna do it.
Yep. When are you gonna do it?
No, and the cool thing is most insurance will cover it. So
That'd be cool.
yeah. So your boy No, I'm kidding. No, but like I am so ready for my sense of smell to be back. But I'm very happy that my voice is back. That was a big issue for me, because not being able to actually talk without it hurting was a nightmare.
That's the worst, honestly. Like, or you're just sitting there like you want to say something and you're just like. Nope.
Well, the funny part too was, like, if you remember, right after we recorded, we went to go play video games together because we were just chilling.
Yeah.
And I went to talk, and I went like, like I could barely talk because it hurt.
That's why we're doing so bad on Rocket League. I blame that.
Yeah. I blame that.
And not because we're shit. Because we're really good.
Yeah.
Or something.
Anyways. Nothing to do with what we're talking about today.
Never is.
Sam.
Yes.
Tell the people what we're talking about.
We're talking about, we actually had a suggestion. I don't know who from. You just told me about it like 10 minutes ago.
Shout out to our lousy listener, Fire Thief, and our avid listener since the beginning.
The legend himself. Yep.
Yes.
Has suggested the military.
Yes. And he is prior military, so very fitting.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So I figured shout out to all our current and former military service members out there.
Absolutely.
Thank you for what you do and did. But yeah, we're going to see what kind of assholeriness, which is my new word since we've done our TikTok ads. Has that one?
Y'all haven't seen that one yet? No. Follow us on TikTok. It's coming out soon.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to see what happens in the military via r/am I the asshole on Reddit, because that's how you do it, right? Instead of joining, you just go on Reddit. Don't listen to that. Yeah,
Reddit's a war zone in and of itself, bro. Honestly, what do you mean? Yeah. The final wars of the earth will be waged in Reddit.
Yeah, they talk about eternal wars. This has been an eternal war since when did Reddit come out?
Oh God. Oh, I don't even want to think about that.
Hang on, let me see.
I love thinking about that. Whenever I think about that, I think about that, like that map, you know, the bubble map that you've seen of all the main like Reddit threads, and then the subreddits and like the smaller subreddits off of that, and how many there are. Oh God.
It's 19 years old, for reference. So there's a lot of shit.
I was there in the beginning.
At the beginning. Right. So because like kind of related to that, we're watching X-Men, the original that came out in 2000. It's 24.
Oh, you mean like with Halle Berry and Hugh Jackman?
Yep. Mm-hmm. She's actually watching that literally as we speak.
I think I just ran through that a couple weeks ago, actually. The original trilogy. Good movies.
We what prompted that is we just saw Hugh and Ryan on Hot Ones today. So
I still need to watch that one.
It's really good. You should watch it.
And I'll do that after this.
Yep. So let's hurry up so you can watch that.
But first.
Oh yeah.
Who won last week?
You did.
I did. So we're tied now.
We are tied now. Yep. Back to 0. Yeah.
I had such a glorious lead. I'm like the Cowboys. I live in the past. Anyways.
I can't wait for my wife to watch this episode.
Woo! You should have seen all the hell I called on a TikTok I posted about it. Anyways.
I'm sure.
You ready, sir? You count it down.
All right. Ready? You ready?
Let's go.
You ready?
Let's go.
You ready?
Yes.
All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Damn. All right. He switched up his strat. He got wise.
Not many can tango with the best, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, let's get in this first story.
Yeah.
All right. Am I the asshole?
Sorry, 1 second.
You
know what might help is if I actually told OBS to look at that screen. Now we're good. It's a lousy show. It's been a bit. All right. We've been a little bit too professional. I need to bring it down a notch or two. So it's fine. In the magic of editing, all of this can go away. It's not going to. But welcome back to Am I the Asshole?
All right. Am I the asshole for forcing my son to join the military?
Yikes.
My son's 19. He doesn't go to school and has absolutely no desire to get an education or at least learn a trade. He wants to do nothing but stay at home and play video games and work his minimum wage job. A few weeks, I started a conversation with him. I asked him where does he see himself and what are his goals. He said he doesn't know, just working. He works at Taco Bell right now. I told him that he needs to find some long-term goals and take steps in his life to achieve them. He can't just sit in my house rent-free and without any ambitions. He said he understood and will try to. Yesterday, I asked him, was there any update and he just shrugged. I told him if he still doesn't have any goals, he can't just sit here and do nothing, and that he has a month to move out. Alternatively, he could join the military and he could continue to live here as long as he wants. He felt like it was unfair for me to push either of those things on him, and that I would never threaten to kick his sister out who goes to the local state school. I told him that she was actually doing something with her life, and I couldn't see him waste his life like this, and that he has a month to decide what he wants to do. Well, he threw a tantrum and went up to his room. I knew the kid was going to be upset, but I can't just let him stay here and do nothing. The reason why I'm asking is that my sister called me about the situation. She's sort of his mother figure ever since his mother passed away when he was 7. She tried to tell me I'm being entirely unreasonable. I told her if she wanted to let him move in, she very well can. But at this point, my son needs a push to get it started in his life. And I'm not going to raise a freeloader. We argued back and forth, but neither of us could see the other side. Am I the asshole for giving my son the push he needs to get ahead?
Don't read that.
Don't read the edit. Okay.
Oh,
This is an age-old predicament I feel like a lot of families have gone through.
yep. My family was definitely not as pushy, but I was also much more in the mindset of like, get the fuck out of this house. But
Valid.
Which is why at the OP's son's age, you and I moved out together. But
yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah. See, for me, if you remember when I was this age, younger than this actually, I was homeless.
Yep.
Like I was sleeping on your couch.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, so from my perspective, because I've been very open about this very briefly here. Everyone knows about my history with my parents. My mom kicked me out when I was 18 years old on some bullshit, like legit some bullshit. I am grown enough and mature enough to admit it was bullshit. But I was on your couch for months,
Yep.
you know, and I really had no choice but to rapidly grow up and not get the opportunity to be the quote unquote freeloader. But I do know people like that. Like you know people like that.
Mm-hmm.
This one's tough.
It doesn't necessarily feel like it's not saying, hey, you need to join the military specifically. That's an option that OP is saying here.
Yeah.
Right? He's saying, hey, figure something out or join the military or get the fuck out.
Yeah.
I'm personally not a huge fan of that parenting style. But at the same time, like, yeah, sometimes people need a little push to get the fuck out. I don't know if 19's the age. And also for reference, like I have 3 stepsisters. One's grown, she's up in New York. The other 2 are still at home with my mom and my stepdad. But they're totally fine with them sticking around and figuring out what they want with their life. They're very opposite to OP here.
Yeah.
So like, you know, they're like, hey, you know, they could take time, you know, they want to make sure that they're happy and healthy and comfortable. So
I don't want to be the typical, you know, counter. But here's a thought that just kind of hit me with this. I see where the aggressiveness is coming from OP,
Yeah.
because OP wants his kids, his or her, I'm not sure, their kids,
yeah.
wants their kids to be successful, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. The issue I do see, so long as everything in this post is as it's written, because we've talked about before, we can't really start making up context. If the son is truly being a freeloader, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
And the reason I kind of get it is because, like you said, OP gave an option. Hey, figure out your life goals. Like, if you, and I'm sure there was a conversation at some point of like, if you want some help, talk to me, I'll help you. But when that, and it's an ultimatum, when that ultimatum is given, of course, everyone's going to look at the automatic negative and go, oh, well, you're just forcing me into the military. No. Much like your sister's going to school. Your sister is currently going to college. If my boys came to me and said, Dad, I don't know what I want to do, but I know I want to go to college and I want to start learning. Okay. Hey, you want to go, if you want to go right up the street to Kansas, what's the school up? It's I don't know if it's Kansas State, University of Kansas. If you want to go to University of Kansas, go ahead. You have room and board right here. You want to stay in the dorms? That's up to you. Make sure you get a scholarship for it, because your dad can't afford it. But if you want free stay, absolutely. Now, at 19 years old, if my sons are going, yeah, I'm just working a part-time job, I don't really know what I want to do. Okay, well, let's talk about it. Let's find something you want to do. Take the initiative as a parent to take that next step as a parent, right? Yeah. And go, okay, let me help you figure out what you want to do. At 19 years old, I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do. I know damn sure you didn't know what you wanted to do at 19 years old.
Know what I want to do.
Yeah,
I'm 32.
Like, shit. Yeah, we're 32. I mean, like, we love making content. That's something we definitely know we want to do. But when it comes to career, I mean, shit, I've been talking about changing career paths for like the last 3 years. You know, like, it's always that after present thought of like, oh, maybe if I do this, like, you don't know for certain what you want to do. And for anybody out there who does, good on you. You got it locked in. That's awesome. But at 19 years old, ain't nobody know what the hell they want to do. So I'm going to say, and I'm going to lock this in. I'm going to say everyone sucks. I'm going to say everyone sucks because the son isn't really wanting to do or listen to what OP is saying.
Yeah.
And from what it sounds like, son went and talked to OP's sister and now has started that whole conversation / fight. OP is being a bit more aggressive than they should be because at 19, nobody knows what the fuck they want to do. But as a parent, it is your job to put your kids first and go, let me help you figure that out.
Yeah.
If your kids are not first when you have kids, you're doing it fucking wrong, period. Your kids have to be first.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they're 2, 20, 50, like, and you're shitting your fucking diapers at the nursing home. Your kids come first.
Yeah.
Yes, the leave and cleave happens at some point, but your kids still come first. My sons, both of them could be married, living halfway across the country. And if one of them called me and said, Dad, I need help, I'm in the fucking car and I'm on the way.
Yeah.
No questions asked. Kids come first. So OP is being really aggressive and not really putting that mentality into this. But the 19-year-old son's also throwing a tantrum for being told, hey, let's do something more than just sitting on our ass.
Yeah.
And I think that's where everyone sucks because nobody's really communicating and looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And then also a lack of an option that I immediately noticed is pay some sort of rent while he's working at Taco Bell. You know, it doesn't have to be much. It could be a very meager amount, but introducing that sense of responsibility, like, hey, you got bills to pay. Do you just want to, you know, continue this meager lifestyle, or do you want to better yourself in any way, whether it's a trade, college, or military? All three are perfectly viable options. You know, that's at least an option that I would say, like, hey, you know, throw me $100 a month, you know, just like as some sort of responsibility behind your life, you know, instead of just immediately forcing them out of the nest.
I will agree with you on a contingency.
Okay.
Charging your kids rent, to me, is a little rough. Unless, and your dad did this to me, and I cannot thank him enough. Charge them rent and take that money, put it in a savings account or an IRA or something that they can have when they get established.
Sure. But that part, they don't necessarily need to know that part.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that as in the sense of just saying make them pay rent just sounds like you're pocketing money from them. That's my perspective.
Oh, okay.
But that's also because I had a parent who made me pay fucking rent and I never saw a dime of it. And I was living on a broken ass futon in a dingy ass basement with literally just a TV and an Xbox. Like, you know, and I was paying rent to live there. So to me, like, that negative resonates. Yeah. But from the parent perspective, take that money and invest it so that way when it's time for them to leave the nest, you go, hey, I'm proud of you. You picked yourself up by your bootstraps. You went and made a career for yourself. You did XYZ things. Now you have your own place. Guess what? Here's X amount of thousands of dollars that you have been paying in rent to me. Take that, invest it, buy some stuff for your new apartment, do whatever you need to do with it. I'd recommend investing it some more and saving it and then, you know, spending some of it. Do whatever you want. But here is all that money. This is your reward. Good job. Like, that'll instill that sense of like, holy shit, because that's a hell of a surprise. But that'll instill that sense of like, to your point, that urgency and that necessity of, hey, I got bills to pay. I need to make sure I'm good on money. But then when that time comes around, you go, hey, I've been taking care of you. Here you go.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's of course the ideal way to do it. But at the end of the day, it's more just about instilling some sort of responsibility.
Yeah.
That's the main thing I'm talking about here. Like, you don't have to necessarily force them out of the house or force them to make a decision that they're going to later on regret. You can charge them a meager amount of rent, and then that will start the wheels turning usually. Not saying that's the end all be all, you know, option, of course, but it's something that should be thought of. I'll agree with everyone sucks. Everybody else on Reddit, though, they said asshole. Yeah, which I'm not surprised in the slightest that they did.
Well, I'm going to read this edit real quick, and then let's jump into these comments.
Okay.
Edit. I will consider giving him up to 2 years while paying me rent before ultimately making him make the decision of if he wants to move out, go to school, or join the military. Which aligns exactly with what we said. So, let's jump into the comments here because I have the feeling these comments are going to get spicy, seeing as everyone called this one an asshole. Go ahead and take it away, brother man.
Yeah. First one here. You're the asshole. Giving someone a push is very different from forcing them into a potentially life-threatening career. A push would be forcing him to apply for local jobs or asking him leading questions about where he sees himself in 5 years and being genuinely supportive of his goals. He is 19. Give him time to think, to make up his mind.
I agree with the back half of that statement.
Yeah.
But I'm also a logical human being who realizes that me just getting into my vehicle and driving on I-40 could cause me to, you know, die randomly and sporadically because anybody can hit me. Life in itself
is inherently dangerous.
Correct. Like,
honestly.
You ever take your phone off the charge in the morning? Imagine what happens if that goes like, you know, just just a heads up.
You'll be all right.
Next comment here says, you're the asshole. If you said you have a month to apply to community college to start working on basics or start paying X rent or start applying to a career position or join the military, get out, that would be not the asshole. However, even though you may have those options for him, if your ultimatum didn't say that, he wouldn't have heard it. That's adding
OP
context.
Yeah, and OP did respond to that. I suppose I should have elaborated more. He could go to school too, but he just has no interest. I thought pushing that angle was futile. He's more than satisfied to sit on the couch and do nothing every day after work, and I felt he needed a push.
OP cannot assume that option's off the table. I'll leave it at that.
And then also, like, working at Taco Bell, I'm sure probably fucking sucks, right? Like, you deal
Working
with
fast
asshole
food
people.
in general.
Yeah, and then especially, like, you know, Taco Bell's open to what, like 2 or some shit? Like,
yeah. And it's just hot. It's nasty.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think everyone...
sour cream.
Yeah. Have you seen their new shit, by the way?
Yeah, it's not.
It looks good. It doesn't taste any better, but it's still, at least it's not worse, right?
No, I'm saying it's not good. Like, I tried it. Yeah.
Oh, I've tried a few of them. I had the Cantina Quesadilla or whatever, and it was all right. I like the normal one a little bit better. But
I'll say I'm going to stick with my quesadilla and 2 beefies.
Yep.
No
beans.
beans.
5-layer burrito is goated. Oh, yeah. Crunchwrap Supreme, goated. They do have new Crunchwrap sliders that I really want to try because they're basically the little mini ones.
Intriguing. Okay.
Anyway, we're going off on a tangent.
We are.
We have said everyone sucks. Reddit said asshole. Let's move on.
Yes, I say we've spent a lot of time on this story.
Yeah, we're 30 minutes into this episode already. We still got
Next.
3. Am I the asshole? Military parents got angry. I said I wasn't interested in that lifestyle. My dad is a career military guy. My mom has always been very supportive of his career. I'm 23. I was visiting them for the first time post-COVID restrictions, and they freaked out over the following exchange. My dad mentioned that the son of a longtime friend was asking about me and whether I had a boyfriend, would be interested in going out, etc. I remember him as nice, but no strong feelings either way, and asked my dad what the guy was up to. My dad said he's in the Army and doing well for himself. I basically cut it off there and said, nope, sorry, not interested. My mom interjected and asked what that was supposed to mean. I said I'm not interested in dating anyone in the military. She asked why. And I said I hated growing up like that. The constant moving on short notice, never being able to make plans I was sure my dad would be available for, the stress and mental toll it takes on everyone, and wouldn't subject myself to it as an adult or have possible future kids in that situation. They both absolutely lost it and called me hurtful, rude, ungrateful, and bitchy. I just politely excused myself, left, and we haven't spoken since. My sister called and said both of my parents called her crying to tell her about it and that I should apologize. I don't think I have anything to apologize for. My mother asked, I answered. Oh, drama.
I'm going to make this one pretty open and closed. This is not the asshole. And for one very valid reason.
She asked.
If you don't want honesty, don't ask a damn question. Like, she was just straight up. She's like, I hated growing up like that. Don't like the constant moving. Don't like not being able to make plans. The short notice stuff, like the stress and mental toll. I mean, she just straight up was like, no, like I'm not going to be in that lifestyle anymore. And the parents did not like that. Like, don't ask that question if you don't want that answer, honey.
Yeah.
Easy peasy, not the asshole.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, it was, it's definitely was probably rough for the parents to hear as big family of, or big, fan of military stuff. But yeah, I don't think, it wasn't like she was saying that like you guys sucked. She just said, I didn't like the whole military thing, Yeah. And so, yeah, I don't think, of course, there's probably some context there that we're missing, but based off the context there, I got to say not the asshole for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Everyone else on Reddit said not the asshole.
They agreed.
Let's go ahead and read this first comment. Not the asshole. I was in the Army for 6 years and I'm glad I didn't have a family. The divorce rate is so high for military families and it can be very stressful. If he plans on being a lifer, it will get slightly easier the higher up he goes, but not a lot. Yeah, I mean that's something very valid and something I've heard from a lot of military families and like military wives, military husbands, even military members. You hear about a lot about like they get married right before they jet out because it's the military. Like it's the age old thing of like, honey, I might not come home.
Yep.
But I mean, you're talking months, years, even without seeing your spouse. God forbid you have kids. Like, it's a lot. And that's not even taking into account the amount of people who cheat. Like, that's, it's a lot. And so mad respect to OP for just standing her ground and be like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my wife grew up in a military town. Her dad was military. I've heard some stories. And so, yeah, I kind of get where OP is coming from on this one.
Yeah.
Next one here, not the asshole. You weren't insulting them. You were talking about your personal experience growing up in a military family and how you wouldn't want the same as an adult or for your kids. Your parents are overreacting, and you really don't need to apologize or think you're in the wrong on this one. Which,
yeah.
This one's pretty
open close for me.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, next. Am I the asshole for asking my wedding guest to leave for wearing his military uniform at my wedding? Another wedding one, which we all love. The wedding ones. The son of one of my husband's family friends showed up to my wedding in his Marines formal wear, complete with all his medals. Now, I have nothing against anyone in the military, but this was a black tie optional wedding, and frankly, it felt very out of place, and it seemed like he was just trying to show off. My wedding had over 300 guests, and nobody else felt the need to wear something to make them stand out. Up until the point that I asked him to leave, he of course was acting very well-mannered and like a complete gentleman, as one might expect from a member of the armed forces. And there were even a few excited teenage girls at my wedding who wanted to take a picture with him, to which he graciously agreed. Many people were thanking him for his service, and frankly, it just felt like the only reason he wore that was to be in the spotlight and make it about him, which I don't think you were supposed to do at someone else's wedding. If he wants to wear that to his own wedding, then fine. But the whole point of having a dress code at a wedding is so that no one guest will stand out too much. I felt that he should have known this, since the whole point of uniforms in the military is so that you don't stand out from everyone else. I felt kind of bad about asking him to leave, but it just didn't feel right for him to be there like that. Am I the asshole? I'm about to catch some shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah.
Go ahead, bud.
OP is an asshole. And I want to reference, I think it was Best Friends episode, the one that the friend asked or was like downgraded from bride or maid of honor to bridesmaid to just a guest. Mm. We said in that episode, it's not their wedding. The two who are getting married had the final say, and that still stands true to this point. And I don't know, like there's something that stands out to me in this story that's throwing me off. In the first paragraph, the OP says, "Now I have nothing against anyone in the military, but this was a black tie optional wedding." And then says in the second paragraph, let's see. If he wants to wear that to his own wedding, then fine. But the whole point of having a dress code at a wedding is so that no one guest will stand out too much. So, which is it? Is it optional or is there a dress code? Because those two things do not go together. And if the first statement, because it sounds to me like you let in with saying it was optional and then later on corrected yourself by saying, or tried to make it sound more than what it was by saying there was a dress code. I'm going to go with your first statement of optional. And if it's optional and he was very well mannered, he was kind, he was present, and there's 300 fucking people and you're locked in on one dude, you're an asshole. Like, you didn't have to ask him to leave. He wasn't doing anything to fuck up your wedding. He wasn't taking attention away from you. And if he was, what, a couple teenage girls? You're talking like 5 teenage girls probably just, oh my goodness, it's a man in uniform. You still have 250 plus other people to entertain. And you let that bother you? You're an asshole.
Bridezilla.
Honestly, like.
I immediately got jumped back to, so just last month I went to a wedding. It was my wife's best friend's wedding. And so naturally my wife, matron of honor.
Yeah.
And so I just don't get wedding dress codes just generally, unless you're very specific and be like, hey, this is it. And I'm like, all right, cool. Initially I was like, hey, is there anything in particular I need to wear? Because I don't get what you're saying. I can't remember exactly the terminology she used for the dress code. And I was like, it's going to be an outdoor wedding in June. Can I wear a short sleeve something like a polo, for example, you know? And initially she was like, it's just got to be like a kind of neutral, kind of pastel-y color. I'm like, bet. I even sent her one. She's like, cool. Awesome. This was months ago. And then I double check because I know. I'm like, hey, still cool with this option? She was like, what do you mean? You have to wear a tie. And I'm like, what? You didn't say that before. And she's like, no, you have to wear a button up, long sleeve button up and a tie. I'm like, it's an outdoor wedding in June. And it's looking pretty hot out there. It was in Colorado, but still. It was like on the hotter side. Fortunately, it wasn't that bad, but I was just like, man. And so I sent the exact same color, just in a long sleeve. I was like, is this all right? She's like, yeah, it's totally fine. I was like, and then I sent her the polo again, and she's like, no polo. I was like, fuck. So fortunately, it ended up being not too bad. It was a little hot during the ceremony, but everything else after that was fine. But just, if I could petition to all the current and future brides out there, to just specify what the fuck you want so I know what to wear to your goddamn wedding and not say optional on some bullshit like this, then I think the entire world will get along a hell of a lot better. So
actually, I have something very funny, very brief to tell you.
Okay.
This was this was like 2014. I think it's like right after you moved to Texas. And I was invited to a wedding, and where Sam and I are from, it's beautiful wedding country out there, like beautiful countrysides. But this particular wedding I was invited to, and I was told, just wear a nice button-up tie, khakis, not a problem. One of my favorite colors to wear, purple.
Yep.
Love wearing purple. I asked, is there a color I should not wear? No, you're good. I ended up wearing purple, and so did the entire fucking wedding party. Oh, shit. And the looks I got from the bride when I'm sitting there and I'm just like, yay. It was down to the fucking bow tie, dog. Like, and she was just like, why did you dress like that? I'm like, well, she invited me, and I asked. I can show you the text. And she didn't say nothing. This was also the same wedding that I found out that I got invited to be the bait. Because homegirl who invited me was trying to get back at her ex who also got invited. Yeah, I found that out. I thought that, mind you, this is a girl that I dated before, so she was like, I thought she was actually like, down with it again, like to start like, budding the romance, if you will. Yeah. And I was, and then when she wouldn't even dance with me, and I was like, I don't know anybody here, so I'm out. Thanks for the free food. Like, hopped in my car, out through the mountains. But no, so I feel you on the dress codes. I will be the first to sign that petition for Sam.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm gonna write it. Joe will be the first signature.
So what is your verdict here?
Oh, man. With this, I think it's a little bit of a bridezilla situation. I mean, typically it's a respect thing to wear military uniforms, at least to my knowledge. I've seen that happen plenty of times, to where people will wear their military uniform to a formal function like a wedding. So I don't think it's necessarily such a like an asshole thing. It's just, I think, bitch is crazy. Not canceled.
I can hear the comments rolling in.
I can see the virtual fucking pitchforks and torches right now. But no, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think you need to go all the way to the point of asking somebody to leave just because people were saying, "Hey, thanks for your service," and a couple fucking children were wanting to take a picture with them. Like,
let's not forget there were 300 guests.
300 people at a wedding is insane. That's so many people.
And you're more pissed off about one person. What?
Like less than a tenth at our wedding.
Yeah, dude. I think I want to say we had 70, maybe.
Yeah, I think you had initially invited 100, and then
we invited 100, and I think 70 officially showed up because we had a small church wedding.
Yeah,
we wanted to do the small little the Guns N' Roses what was it, November Rain style, in small church.
Yeah,
it's kind of what we went for, minus the costumes. We didn't do the costumes. You still haven't given your verdict though. I just want you to know that you got to choose, brother.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm gonna say asshole. Honestly,
okay.
I'm gonna say OP's definitely being an asshole on this one. Yeah.
Well, everyone else
said everyone sucks.
Said everyone sucks. Let's read the first comment here.
Which. Okay.
You're the asshole. What?
No, I'm thinking out loud. My bad.
You worried now?
No, you're good.
You're the asshole. Over 300 people. Guy is in military formal wear and is very well mannered. No question, you're an asshole, an over dramatic, self-centered asshole. Woo! I mean, we didn't say all that, but damn.
I mean, we implied it with the bridezilla part. No, and I did say bitch was crazy, so
That's fair.
Yep. I did say those things. Not gonna lie about it.
Let's see.
Next one here. Not the asshole. For all the people saying formal wear is black tie, I point you to this meta thread. Just because it technically is black tie doesn't mean it's right to wear it to a wedding. In my opinion, wearing any form of a military uniform to an event that has nothing to do with the military is an asshole attention-seeking move. Yikes.
This third one's even longer. By Mr. Swick. Yep. Not the asshole. I don't understand why people are defending this. He has dress blues. That doesn't mean you have to wear them in a black tie event unless it's military orders to be there. He wore them for the attention. I'm in the Marines and I cannot stress enough how much me and all my other buddies would berate this dude at a wedding for being a boot-ass attention whore. Just because you serve doesn't mean everyone needs to know. If this were my Marine, I would have told him good initiative, bad judgment. There is a time and place for everything. A wedding is a once in a lifetime event. Usually. That one got me. Event for that couple. Don't steal their spotlight. Anyone who doesn't think a wedding isn't for the couple to show off themselves is wrong. They could get married at a damn courthouse if they didn't care about attention, but people want to celebrate themselves with their family. Because I know me personally as a Marine myself could only think the whole time I read this person's story was, what a fucking boot. Because if someone showed up to my wedding in their fucking blues, I'd tell them to leave after telling him to stop acting like a goddamn boot. I would never wear my blues for any reason outside of my military orders. It's fucking pointless. The only reason I've seen fellow Marines do it is because they are full of themselves and want attention. I can't say anything against somebody because I haven't served in the military myself, but I do want to refer to before we move forward, I want to refer to this statement again. Now, I have nothing against anyone in the military, but this was a black tie optional wedding. Did we forget what the term optional meant?
Apparently.
And with that, next.
Case closed. Last but not least. Am I the asshole for tweeting that my ex-boyfriend lied about going into the military to break up with me? Oh. Drama. Around this time last year, I got back together with a boyfriend from college for about 4 months. I'm good friends with his sister. He and I rekindled our young love at her wedding. Shortly after we got together, I got really sick. Through the stress of that situation, I think we both quickly realized that we weren't right for each other, but that's not why we broke up. After a couple months, he started tossing around the idea of joining the military. One night, he told me that he had decided to enlist. He had already talked to a recruiting officer. He planned to move pretty quickly with his plans. I told him that I didn't want to do long distance, and he understood. I let him know that I was willing to continue dating until he left. He told me there would be no point, so through tear-filled eyes, we kissed goodbye. After the breakup, I would occasionally ask him how he was doing and even wish him a happy birthday. He would never initiate a text to me and always had very short replies. Well, here we are, 1 year later, and I still see him driving around town all the time. Maybe he didn't lie. Maybe it wasn't an excuse, but it sure seems like it was. I'm a comedian, and I think this is hilarious. I recently tweeted, my ex used to listen to Joe Rogan every day, and yet I was still surprised when he lied about enlisting in the military to break up with me. The tweet was a smash hit. Lots of favorites. The only person he knows that follows me on Twitter is his sister, and she was furious. She sent him a screenshot of the tweet. I did not think about the possibility that that could happen. He was pissed. His sister confronted me about it, accused me of lying and hurting his reputation. I didn't mean for this to happen. I simply hate Joe Rogan. Am I the asshole? What? No.
No. First of all, top tier tweet.
Yeah.
Like, that's fantastic. No, like this is at its finest, in its simplest form. Fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
You lied about joining the military, break up, and you can't take a little tweet? What? Like,
I mean,
fuck your reputation, bro. Like,
yeah. And at the same time, too, she didn't, like, at least based off of what I'm seeing here, she didn't tag him in it, you know?
No, she didn't. She didn't even say who it was.
Mm-mm. I mean, if she's a comedian, she could have just been working on a fucking bit. Like, you know.
It's also been a whole fucking year. She could have dated so many different dudes in that time.
Yep.
Or ladies. We don't judge.
Yep.
We don't discriminate.
We're also assuming gender here, so.
They.
We're getting canceled.
Yeah, no, not the asshole.
Not the asshole.
Not the asshole.
So far and away easy.
Yeah, this is probably the easy. This is T-ball.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and everyone else said not the asshole.
Yep.
So let's read some comments. Not the asshole. I don't understand what this has to do with Joe Rogan at all, but he did lie to you, and he's pissed he got busted. Watch Joe Rogan, or don't.
Or don't, yeah. Joe Rogan's an experience, and that's why they call it the Joe Rogan experience.
The Joe Rogan experience, exactly.
Not the asshole. And if that's all you tweeted without his name or anything, it speaks volumes that his own sister knew who you were talking about. I mean, obviously, it's a thing he did to you. Obviously, she knows that he did it. He did to you, and yet he is mad at you for laughing about it. He's pissed when he treated you like that. Bah. Fucking sheep in here. Oh, honey, there are assholes aplenty here, but you ain't one of them. Also, that was a very good joke.
Yeah. No, that's easy. Easy peasy, open
Lemon
shut.
squeezy.
Yeah, the squeeziest of lemons, if you will.
Yep.
And that's it.
That's it. We done.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments what you think. Did we get it right? Do you disagree? Were we being contrarian?
Somebody was.
I had to be. It's like in my nature. I have to live up to the standard that the YouTube comments have put me on.
Yeah.
And if I don't feel like I've given them a fulfilling experience.
He's definitely
Cis
not
white
a
male
people
take.
pleaser at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. No. But you could please us. That sounded worse in my way better in my head than it coming out. You could please the channel by subscribing and
Use
liking
the
the
YouTube
video.
algorithm. By
Yes.
subscribing, liking, commenting, some sort of emoji. We didn't give you an emoji today.
Grab that algorithm by the teats and bring back the milk of life for this channel. I'm imagining YouTube's a cow.
Let's fucking cut this right.
YouTube's a cow. Okay, that's what I'm picturing. That's what I meant. And you can't say otherwise.
But you can click the button behind them to subscribe. If you want to for some reason. I don't know why you would at this point. And definitely let us know down in the comments if we got everything right. Later.
Bye.